The new prices for Magic the Gathering start in 2024. Are you ready? You don't have to wait for Halloween to come to be terrified. You just have to look at what Magic the Gathering is going to cost us in 2024. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on the channel today. Now, before we get today's video started, yes, we are less than 500 subscribers away from reaching the goal of 20,000 subscribers. So if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Help us reach that goal of 20,000 subs and, of course, the 20K party that will follow. Everybody's going to be invited. Now, a lot of today's video is going to be in my opinion. I have ideas in my head of what I think things should cost. The Moxman is cursed with price memory because I keep spreadsheets on so much data and information about Magic the Gathering products over the years. I can't help but look back at the past, carry it forward and see what something cost me now, and just be terrified. It's scary to look at. But it doesn't mean I'm going to stop buying Magic the Gathering. I'm going to be honest with you all. Bloomborough, I want to buy it. There are just certain products out there that just call out to you. When they give us the Marvel Magic the Gathering Universe Beyond, let's be honest, it has Wolverine, Daredevil, Juggernaut, we got Deadpool in there. Depending on what it's made up as, a lot of us are going to buy these products. So what is it going to cost us? What is it going to look like? Now, my local store, 401 Games, one of the stores here in Toronto, actually put up, the prices for Karlov Manor. So I already know what it's going to cost us in Canada. And depending on where you are, it's radically different pricing, especially Canada to the USA. Totally different pricing structure. Let me show you something here. Let's pop one of these up on the screen to show you what I mean. So here we have the Universes Beyond Fallout English Collector Box. Now, these don't have MSRP. This is a pre-order, and we don't know all the cards yet. So this box right now is $339.95 Canadian, but plus, because we're in Ontario, 13% tax, which brings it to $385 Canadian. And if we take a look at the Commander decks, we have 4 Commander decks. Right now on pre-order, same thing, we don't know all the cards, $269.95 Canadian plus 13% tax brings that to $305 Canadian. And that's for those 4 decks. If we go ahead and look at the US pricing, you can see here Fallout is $241.80 on Amazon.com. The individual decks are around $45 and some change. All 4 of them is $164. Now, when you take the exchange rate in and we have the import duties, you can see there's a bit of a difference in the pricing. It can be a lot depending on which state you live in and how your taxes work out in the United States. But there is a difference in the pricing. With the dollar being stronger and state taxes, depending on where you are, probably being cheaper than Canada, there's quite an advantage there. And anyone who's outside those jurisdictions are just going to have to pay more money. But what I found really kind of the eye-opener for me was 401 Games. They popped up and showed what Karlov Manor, what the murders are going to cost us. So if you look here, Magic the Gathering's Murder at Karlov Manor Play Booster Box, just the box, is $209.95 plus tax, and that's on pre-order, okay? So if you take a $209.95, we times that by 1.13, that is $238 Canadian per box. And at that price point, you now have a barrier to entry for some players who would be willing to buy sealed boxes. The price is high enough that most players will not take the risk. And if you're wondering why you wouldn't take the risk, why all of a sudden you're so turned against it now, you are not getting the dopamine hit in your brain telling you to buy it. Because the odds are now so stacked against you, your brain's telling you it's just not worth the risk. Go for the singles. And this is where the market is likely to shift in the next 14 to 18 months. It takes a while for inflationary items to kind of stabilize, for people to get used to the new prices and for this to be the new norm. Some people never recover from this and they always look back on the past, but for some people, for the majority of people, we settle into the new price and we make adjustments in our lives for our hobbies, for our shopping habits to accommodate for this new change. But the market shift you are going to see is from players who now have that entry point block, they can't buy boxes, to now seeking out singles, commons, uncommons, rares, mythics, whatever it may be, playing standard, playing commander, I don't care what format. When those players go looking for those cards, and there are hundreds of other people in the exact same boat looking for those cards, where there weren't before, because they were buying their own boxes, having fun cracking and going to F&Ms, and now they're not doing it, this will lead to a stabilization of pricing. You will see cards kind of holding their prices longer and being more firm. They're not going to drop the way they were because it's not going to be worth it for people to crack boxes to get it. Even if there was a $70 card inside that box, like a Sheoldred the Apocalypse, players are not willing to risk the chance of a $70 card versus $230, 3 times the cost, just to take a gamble on hoping to get one when they can spend the $70 and buy it directly. This is where the singles market will start to win. It'll win out. We already know a lot of players are indulging in the singles market, and this new pricing structure from Wizards of the Coast may be intentionally set up to lead people down that path. Because Wizards of the Coast can use that reprint equity from the stabilization of prices to give out new Masters products in the future that players will find more value in buying, because it may be a $500-$600 box of Magic, but they're by 2 or 3 years from now, you could have hundreds of cards with stable values worth money that Wizards of the Coast can now market as, look at the deal you get buying this particular XYZ Masters product when all these cards are expensive. Because that barrier to entry on the new Play Booster box turned away enough players that the singles market just got bought up a lot more than normal. I'm just thinking it's something that could happen because it's happened in other markets, and it could just happen in Magic. It just makes perfect sense that they could align themselves that way. We're not all getting giant raises that we can just ignore the cost of things around us. This isn't how the world works, where everything's just, hey, we all got equal raises, even though everything went up, it's okay, we can all still afford it. No. We all make choices and sacrifices and make different decisions based on what we see around us, and how we adjust to it is entirely different for every person. All I know is when I look at 2024 and I look at the Magic the Gathering lineup, it looks like a lot of these sets are going to be fun. Play boosters do look like they're going to be fun, and I still say it's a step in the right direction, but I know that price point is going to turn enough people away into the singles market permanently that it's going to affect the singles market. It's going to affect what goes on, because most stores are still not going to take massive risks after what Wizards of the Coast has done. You're not willing to take the risk and dive into lots of boxes. Even if prices are stable, you're worried about an Amazon dump. And until those Amazon dumps go away, until they tighten the allocation that LGSs and players can feel like, hey, there's not a lot of boxes around anymore. Is a new set coming? Until we start having that feeling again, like boxes are a little more rare, that we know our singles aren't going to drop too far, even though they really won't, because, let's face it, the prices are too expensive and players are all buying singles now, that this is going to be an interesting market environment for MTG Finance in the next, again, it takes a while to settle. I'd say 14 to 18 months. We're going to see how it turns out. But it could be an actual intentional move by Wizards of the Coast that I think is worth reflecting on and gathering opinion and data on. We'll see how it plays out, because the prices I'm seeing on what we're seeing for the new products coming up, they seem expensive to me, but not out of this world. And I think that's just my brain adjusting to the new pricing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Thanks a lot for hanging out and chilling out here with me, the Mox Man. And of course, if you enjoyed today's content, looking forward to seeing your comments in the comments section, and we'll have another video tomorrow. Have an awesome day. A big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons of the channel for their continued support each and every day. All these names you see popping up here on the screen are supporters of the channel. Thanks again for being here. Amazing patrons. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have you guys ever read this card, the Wand of Ith from the Dark? It's kind of a pain. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. It is a 4 casting cost artifact, and it says 3 in tap. Look at 1 card at random from target player's hand. If this card is not a land card, player must either discard the card or pay life equal to its casting cost. If that card is a land, target player either chooses to discard it or pay 1 life. Effects that prevent or redirect can't be used to count as loss of life. What a pain. Now imagine you're playing with things like Field of Dreams, or the cards like the ones that you see all your hands and stuff, so you can see your hands are all face up, and you can just pick the most expensive cards in their deck or pick the things that are worst for them. That's horrible. I mean, I know it costs too much to really play nowadays, but when cards like that came along back in the day, what a pain. Difficult to deal with. You're just like, why are you doing this to me? It's so personal. But I love it. And that's the sad part. Love that stuff. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here in the channel. We're getting closer every day. Come on, guys. We're going to get there, man. We're going to get there. And it's going to be epic. All right, now go tidy something. Clean up. Help around the house.